Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Samar Talib, and this is a lecture about the play Death of Salesman. And as you know, we have been reading with the text, and we have been watching some of the movies or some theatrical performances of the play. Last time we were reading with the text, we stopped with page 13, where Biff and Happy were speaking with their dad and sorry, with themselves, and they were speaking about kind of their adventures, their plans for the futures, their hopes, their ambitions, and we saw they were speaking about girls and so on, and we referred to a certain idea that Sigmund Freud kind of touched on many times, which is the Madonna whore complex we saw when they were kind of making relationships with girls. But when Biff was thinking about marriage, he was thinking to get married to a girl who is like his own mother. Okay, so and we saw something about Happy, and we saw that Happy was kind of very mean with that, and he was also using girls for his own advantage, and we saw that he was using girls for taking revenge from his managers or his seniors, people who are kind of in front of him, and people who are before him in the job ladder, and people who are better than him. And so because he cannot be like them, he cannot be as good as they are, so he uses their girlfriends and makes relations with their girlfriends in order to take revenge from them. And he even not only does he do that, but he even goes to their wedding parties. And we saw that this is something that is very difficult to explain with regard to Happy, why he's doing that. And so now we start with page 14, and we see that the boys are kind of speaking. Um, and Happy was kind of trying to ask Biff to stay here, and he was trying to convince Biff to stay here. And Biff said that one alternative for him is to go to Bill Oliver. Um, so, um, and Bill Oliver is a man that is one of the acquaintances of uh, um, Biff, and seems there is a kind of history with Bill Oliver. So this is a kind of history that we are going to see today. So um, he Biff says that Bill Oliver, the last time they talked, and it was a long time ago, really. Biff Oliver was saying to him, Biff, if you ever need anything, come to me, okay? And Happy encourages him to do that, to go and see Bill Oliver, and he says to him that Bill Oliver was thinking highly of you. And so you see here, of course, I'm not going here to read all the text. I'm expecting you to be reading the text. I'm just emphasizing some of the important parts of the text that might shed light on the characters and their personalities and on some of the themes of the play. So Happy was saying to him that I bet he would back you because he thought highly of you, Biff. I mean, they all do. You're well liked. So this is part of the illusion that the boys are living in, or more specifically, that Happy is still living in, because we see that Biff is kind of disillusioned about all of that. So they still think very highly of themselves. And Happy is saying that because you are well liked, so Bill Oliver and everyone else was thinking highly of you. Okay, so still, as I said, a kind of self-deception that is inherited to them from their father. Okay, so Biff says no. With the ranch, I do all the work I like, and still be something. I would wonder if Bill still thinks I stole the cartoon of basketball. So this also returns us back to some of the history between Biff and Bill Oliver. Okay, so we see that Biff is going to Bill Oliver, not to work for Bill Oliver, but rather he's going to borrow money from Bill Oliver, and he wants to borrow money because he wanted Bill Oliver to help him with something, to buy a ranch. Okay, and this is, we see what Biff is all about. He wanted to buy a ranch um, for himself. Okay, he wants to work in a farm. That is what he's planning to, and he thinks that okay. It seems from what Biff was saying that he stole a cartoon of basketballs from Bill Oliver, and he is hesitant to go to Bill Oliver because maybe Bill Oliver still remembers the event, and that Biff has a kind of um, that Biff has um, that Biff has kind of stolen the cartoon of basketball. So this is something about Biff, about thievery. Biff seems to have stolen many times, and later on we are going to see some of the history of Biff in that. Okay, so uh, okay, when they are speaking, Happy is kind of encouraging Biff to go in spite of that. Although Biff is hesitant about the basketballs and so on, Happy is pushing him to go to Bill Oliver. And so while they are speaking, here we have this kind of intersection between the two events. So the boys are speaking, and downstairs, their father is speaking. You're gonna watch the engine bit, and we see that Willie Loman is not living right now in the present, but rather he's remembering the time in back, as we said, in 1928 when Biff was in high school, and Willie Loman is remembering all these kind of situations with his boys. So the boys become very kind of upset when they heard their father speak like that. Okay, so Biff or Happy, sorry, seizes this opportunity and kind of uses this disordered mental state of his father in order to encourage Biff even further to stay home. He says to him that my father needs you, and you see how things are going with him, and he's becoming very mentally unstable, so he needs you to stay home. Okay, so Biff is very angry. Doesn't he know mom can hear that? Or don't get your sweater dirty. So Biff and Woody now speaking not to Biff, not this adult Biff who's like 30 years old or so, but rather he's speaking to the adolescent Biff when he was the Biff who was in high school. So um, so Happy is using this, as we said. Isn't that terrible? Don't leave again. Will you? You'll find a job here. You get to stick around and not know what to do about him. It's getting embarrassing. So Happy says to him, I cannot take it by myself. Your father is deteriorating. His situation is becoming increasingly difficult. So I need someone with me in order to handle him. So that's why he gives even more and more reasons for Biff to stay. Willie, what a Simonizing job. Still, Willie is speaking about that. Okay, and so they go on and on and on. Okay, until now, the boys are looking at Willie speaking this way, and now we turn from this scene in the present where the boys are speaking in the room, we turn to the past. And if you see the stage directions, the light is out well before they have finished speaking. Willie's form is dimly seen below the darkened kitchen. He opens the refrigerator, searches in there and takes out a bottle of milk. The apartment houses are fading out, and the entire house and surrounding become covered with leaves, using sinuates itself as the leaves appear. So we move now. This is a very important part in the play. We move now from the present moment to the past. Okay. So, and there are many differences between the present and the past. So, all these differences are kind of mentioned here in these stage directions. So, what happens is that you remember in the past, the house was surrounded by trees, by leaves, and by nature. And now in the present, there are apartment houses that were built in the place of these trees. So in order to indicate this movement from the present to the past, the director has to kind of make the apartment houses disappear and instead reveal in the place of them reveals a kind of nature, kind of some trees and leaves and so on. So leaves are, as we said, are referring back to nature. Okay, so um, Willie was speaking with Beth, and as we said, this is not the present moment, but not in the end of 40s, but he's speaking about the gear about the boys. Okay, and he's speaking to those boys, and he imagines himself back then in 1928. So he was saying to his son that be careful with the girls, don't promise them of any things. Okay, and here we have another bit of stage directions. If you see it in the um, in italics, light rises in the kitchen. Willie talking, shuts the refrigerator door and comes downstage to the kitchen table. He pours milk into a glass. He's totally immersed in himself. Okay, smiling faintly, and this is important. He's immersed in mustaghraq. Okay, so he's kind of forgetting all about around him, what is around himself. He's just living in his dream. He's kind of daydreaming, like, okay, too young, Talib, if you want to watch your schooling first. So he's kind of speaking with his sons, with his high school Biff, and he saying to Biff that you are too young to make any promises to girls. Okay, and he kind of asks Biff, the girls pay for you, and he laughs, boy, you must be really making it. Okay. Okay, so we see that many of the bad things in the boys were really kind of implanted in them by the father himself. So what things the boys did and they were wrong, they were congratulated on them by their father. Like the girls pay for you. Instead, he should say to his son, "You shouldn't make the girls pay for you." But now he allows us as if his son has done something great. Okay, and we see now we can't blame the failure from this. We can't blame the failure of the sons on on their father. Okay, so really I've been wondering why you police the car, and he is speaking about the car and asking Happy and Biff to clean the car, and he's speaking. Okay, um, and they go on and on, and we have we have the boys now. They are off stage. They didn't appear on stage. Okay, they will appear later. Okay, and they were asking him, okay, what we missed and so on. What more do you want from the car and so on. So now on stage we have Willie Loman. Okay, and the boys are supposed to be off stage. We as the audience are not supposed to be seeing the boys. So it's kind of the director or the writer are preparing us to imagine the boys as being young, okay, before we see them young really on stage. So here we have, after that, we have young Biff and young Happy appear from the diversion Willie was addressing. Okay, so Willie was off stage and he was addressing the off stage, and Willie and sorry, Biff and Happy emerge from that point which Willie Loman was addressing. Okay, Happy carries ranks and a pail of water. Okay, and Biff, wearing a sweater with block S, carries a football. How is that, Bob? Professional, and how am I doing with the boy? Okay, terrific, boys, good work. Okay, where is the surprise? So it seems he brought something to them, a kind of treat or kind of gift to them in the back seat of the car. Okay, and Happy goes on to the car in order to see what the surprise was. Okay, Biff, what is that? Tell me, what did you buy? And he tells him that he bought a punching bag for them. Okay, um, so And here we have Happy playing with the ball, okay, and with the punching bag, sorry, and he lies down on his back and pedals with his feet, and he says, "I'm losing weight. You notice, Pop?" And yeah, he's speaking to his father, okay. And later we are seeing that seeing Happy repeat this. Um, Sentence many times, and later we'll see what the significance of this sentence is. Okay, and so his father is answering him. Jumping rope is good too. So seems that Happy is kind of fat, and he wants to lose some weight. Okay, and there is a football. Okay, Viv, did you see the new football I got? Where did you get the new ball? The coach told me to practice my passing. That's so, and he gave you the ball. So it seems that there is a ball in the hand of Biv, and we say this is the not the adult Biv, but rather the adolescent Biv. And his father is asking him, "Where did you get that ball from?" And he said that the coach asked me to practice. And Willie is making a more specific question, okay? And he gave you the ball, and Biff says, "Well, I borrowed it from the locker room." Okay, so borrow is just a nicer word for stole. Okay, so what really happened is that Biff was kind of stealing the ball from the locker room. Okay, but of course he could not say I stole it from the locker room. But he says I borrowed it from the locker room. Let's see um, what the father was reacting to, or how was the reaction of his father. I want you to return that. This is a good reaction. I thought you wouldn't like it. Well, I'm bringing it back. Okay, Willie, sure, he's got to practice with the regulation ball, doesn't he? Coach will probably congratulate you on your initiative. This is important. So Willie is saying to Biff that the coach is going to congratulate you for your initiative. يعني يهنيك على هذه المبادرة. And what is the initiative? Stealing the ball. So it seems that Willie Loman was encouraging his son to do something bad. Okay, or rather, if not encouraging, he was kind of justifying what his son was doing, and from this we can blame the failure of the boys on their father. So instead of saying to him that this is stealing and you shouldn't steal the ball and you have to immediately return it back um, to the um, locker room and to the coach, he says to him, "This is an initiative," and he congratulates him for that. Okay, and he says that the coach is going to congratulate him for that. Okay, so he keeps congratulating my initiative all the time, Bob. That's because he likes you. If somebody else took the ball, there would be an uproar. So with the reports, okay. So he says to him that you are please saying to his son that you are special, okay? The coach is treating you as someone special. If somebody else has taken the ball, that would be a problem. But because Biff Loman took the ball, that is an initiative. So as we said, that it is their father who is encouraging them to do bad thing. Okay, well, so he speaks to his son and he says to them, "Tell you a secret, boys, don't breathe it to a soul. Don't say that secret to anyone. Someday I'll leave my own business and I will never have to leave home anymore." So the boys seems are kind of upset that their father is always traveling and so on. They want him to stay with them all the time at home. And he says to them that one day I'm going to start my own business. Okay, and Happy brings up the example of Uncle Charlie, and we said that Uncle Charlie is their neighbor. Okay, and he says to him that, "Are you going to be like Uncle Charlie, who has his own business?" Willie is not willing to say that Uncle Charlie is good. That's why he doesn't give credit to Charlie for anything. Okay, although Charlie is a good man, he is successful man, he is leading a good and successful life. In contrast to Willie Loman, Willie does not give him credit for anything. Okay, so Willie says, bigger than Uncle Charlie. I'm not going to be Uncle Charlie. I'm not to be compared to Uncle Charlie. I'm something better than Uncle, because Charlie is not liked. He's liked, but he's not well liked. Okay, so you see, it is from this time and surely earlier that Willie Loman was instilling in his self in his sons these ideals that in order to be successful you have to be well liked, and he says to them that I'm better than Uncle Charlie because Uncle Charlie is only liked, but he's not well liked, and so this is in contrast to Willie Loman, who is well liked. Okay, and so okay, and then he tells them um, some news about his travels and what kind of people he meets and how people react when they see him, and we of course cannot believe that, not very much. Okay, so he says that he was in Waterbury, the city, and he met the mayor. He was in the lobby of the hotel that Willie Loman entered, and he says, I sat with the mayor and said to him, you got a fine city here, mayor. And then he had coffee with me. So the mayor himself was having coffee with me. And then he went to Boston, the cradle of the revolution, the American Revolution. Okay. And so the boys say to him that we want to go with you. Like, and if they hear all this good news, all this rosy news about his travels, they of course want to go with him. Okay, and now he turns to speak about New England, and he says, and they know me, boys. They know me up and down New England. Everyone knows me in New England. I have friends. I can park my car in any street in New England, and the cops protect it like their own. So it's like he is very important. He has good relationships with everyone in New England, and so even the cops, he even made relationship with the cops, and so they protect his car as if they protect their own. Okay, so and he goes on and on. Okay, and so um, they turn now to speak about the game that Biff is going to play, and this is an important point in the play, the game. I mean it is an important motif in the play. So Biff was supposed to be playing a game, I think, of basketball and a sort of football, and his father was supposed to be coming to that game. Okay, what did they say about you in school? And now they made you captain of the team. Okay, and Happy says there is a crowd of girls behind him, and this answer is very indicative of the and very revealing of the personality of Happy. He's everything he measures in terms of girls. So when Biff was saying that he is going to Bill Oliver in order to borrow money and buy a ranch and so on. He says to him that girls will be coming after you. And now in high school, what they are saying, and so he says that there is a crowd of girls behind him every time the classes change. Okay, this Saturday. Um, um, Bob, this Saturday, just for you, I'm going to break through for a touchdown. So he is saying, this is kind of inviting his father to come to that game, and he gives him the time, which is this Saturday. And so Willie promises to come, but later on we'll see that Willie is not coming. And now on page 20, we see Bernard enters into the kitchen. He's younger than Biff. Okay, earnest and loyal, a worried boy. So here we have the introduction of a new character who is Bernard. And Bernard, we said, is also a neighbor of the Lomans, and he is the son of Charlie. Okay, so always we know things not by what they are, but by what they are not. So Arthur Miller, in order to reveal better the personalities of the Lomans, of Willy Lomans and his sons. He makes or he creates a family that is next doors to the Lomans, their neighbors, and which is different, very different to the Lomans themselves. So we see that we shed light on the character of Willy Loman through the character of Charlie, and we shed light on the character of Biff and Happy, and mainly Biff, of course, through the character of Bernard. So we have a contrast here between Willy Loman and Charlie, and we have a contrast between Biff and Bernard. So Bernard is different from the boys from the Lomans. He's not well built. He doesn't have an impressive body like Biff and Happy. And unlike them, also, he's much more interested in his study than the boys. The boys are interested in sports, in gills, and so on, in appearances. And Bernard is very much interested in his study, and this is something that we see, that we are going to see when he speaks to Biff and when he speaks to Willy Loman. Willie Loman is being very rude with Bernard. So Willie says to Bernard, "Look, Bernard, what are you looking so anemic about?" So anemia, فقر الدم. Okay, so he says to him that you look anemic, and kind of symptoms of being anemic is being like weak, is being thin, is being yellow skin because you don't have enough blood and so on. Okay, so Willie is very rude with Bernard. Okay, and here Bernard saying Biff, and he gets away from Happy. Happy tries to play with Bernard, which is something that Bernard doesn't like to do. Okay, listen, Biff, I heard Mr. Burnham say that if you don't start studying math, he's gonna flank you and you won't graduate. I heard him. So Bernard is warning Biff that Mr. Burnham who's the teacher of math, is saying that he's going to flank math. He's flank Biff, sorry, and he makes him drop from school and he'll not be graduated. And so this is a real warning. And later on, we'll see that this is really what happened with Biff, that he was flanked from math and he did not graduate. So the Lomans did not listen to Bernard, okay? And Biff said, "Oh, Bob didn't see my sneakers." Okay, and seems that Biff doesn't listen to Bernard, and he doesn't take him very seriously. So he's saying to his dad that I printed and see what I printed on my sneakers on his shoe, and seems he has printed the name of the University of Virginia. Okay, so Bernard is wiping his glasses, and this is something also different from the Lomans. The Lomans don't use the glasses like the boys. I mean, they seems because they have a good eye vision, and this is a sign of strength, while Bernard now has glasses, and this is a sign of weakness. Okay, so Bernard is answering very cleverly. Just because he printed University of Virginia on his sneakers doesn't mean they have got to graduate him, Uncle Charlie. Okay, what's you talking about? With scholarships to 3 universities, they're gonna flank him. I heard Mr. Bernard say, "Don't be a pest, Bernard." You see the kind of words that Willie Loman is using with Bernard are very rude. Okay, what an anemic, and he returns that. Okay, I'm waiting for you in my house, Biff. Okay, Bernard goes off. The Lomans laugh. They laugh at him. So still he insists. Bernard insists that Biff goes to his home in order to study math. Okay, and look at this immersion and self-deception. Willie Loman Bernard is not well liked, is he? Biff, well, he's liked, but he's not well liked. So that's right, Bob. That's just what I mean. Bernard can get the best marks in school, you understand, but when he gets out in the business world, you understand, you are going to be 5 times ahead of him. That's why I thank Almighty God you are both built like Adonises. because the man who makes an appearance in the business world, the man who creates personal interest, is the man who gets ahead, be liked, and you will never want. You take me, for instance, I never have to wait in line to see a buyer. Willie Roman is here. That's all they need to know. And I got right through. So um, this is the kind of self-deception. This is the kind of the false ideals that Willie Loman is teaching his sons that be well liked, and this is all that you need. You don't need study. You don't need to graduate. You don't need anything. And so, although Bernard is doing better than you in his class in school, but still he will be a failure when he goes to the job market, because in the job market, the main criterion to be successful is to be well liked. That's all. Of course, we'll see that, and he gives an example of himself, and we see that this is not true. We see that Willie Loman is not making that impression on people. Okay, and you see they go on and they are playing with it, and everyone is glad with that and happy, saying, "I'm losing weight." You notice, Paul? And we see that this sentence has been repeated before, and maybe will be repeated many times later. And some critics are referring this um, to Happy. He is saying that because he wants attention. He craves for attention. Um, and the problem with Willie Loman is that all the attention is focused on Biff, and there's nothing left for Happy. Willie's not very much interested in Happy. Willie has Biff, like he put all his eggs in the basket of Biff. Okay, so it seems that Happy's feeling that, and Happy's feeling neglected by his father. Happy's not getting the attention that he needs. Okay, that's why every now and then he's saying to his father, "I'm losing weight," and so on, in order to just impress his father, in order just um, to um, to make his father pay attention to him. So this is also a deadly mistake that Willie Loman is making when he's bringing up his children. Okay, he's focusing, and this is something that many fathers unfortunately do. That they focus on the eldest one, and they kind of forget about the others, and they put all their attention, their efforts in the older one, and then maybe the older one is kind of going to be disappointing, and then they lose everything. So they lose the old one and the young one. So this is what Willie Loman is doing, and this is what Happy is trying to do, is just to get the attention of his father to a balance. Okay, so and they speak about the car, and Linda seems comes in with car with the kind of maybe washing, and so Linda's asking how the Chevy Chevrolet ran. Okay, Willie Chevrolet, Linda, is the greatest car ever built. Just keep that in mind. He's saying now the Chevrolet is one of the greatest cars. Okay, so she has the washing, the clothes, and Willie says to Biff and Happy, "How would you let your mother do the wash? Sorry, drying them up. So take clothes from her, and they go to that, and okay." Biff, of course, is calling his friends to help him with the clothes, with the washing. Okay, and everyone is answering Biff. Okay, Willie and Linda are very impressed by Biff, that he has a leadership personality, that he has some voice with the other boys, that when he tells them to do something, they do. And Linda, you see the way they obey him. So the other boys are obeying Willie Loman. Okay, so now Biff and Happy go, with the washing, of course, with the other boys, and um, in the stage we have Linda and Willie, and they are going to talk about, and just let's remember that this is still going on in the past, in 1928. Okay, so Willie is talking to her about what he earned from that, and he's saying to her that he made like $220 for Linda, this is a very good amount of money. And she is starting to calculate. She is trying to see what is the gross earning is, يعني الربح الصافي يعني from all of that. Okay, well, and she kind of after the calculation, she says, well, it makes $70 and some pennies. That's very good. What do we owe? يعني شنو مطلوبين? Okay, and she starts to say that, well, on the first there is $16 to the refrigerator, and since there is a problem with the refrigerator or fridge, okay, and what is saying, okay, there is a problem with the manufacturing of that, and then Linda is bringing up many other problems like with the washing machine, with the vacuum cleaner, with the roof, and these are things they all have to pay for. Okay, well, and okay, and also since that there is a problem with the car with Chevrolet, that he has to pay the mechanic because the mechanic kind of gave him uh, um, some work, and he has to pay him for the Chevrolet. And here you see that Woody is saying, I'm not going to pay that man, that goddamn Chevrolet. They ought to prohibit the manufacture of that car. So you see how he is contradicting himself. Just moments ago, he was saying that the Chevrolet is the greatest car ever built, and now he's saying that the Chevrolet is not a good car, and they have to stop the manufacturing of this car. Okay, and so he Willie Loman, $120. My God, if business don't pick up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And now there is a kind of honesty in Willie Norman that we did not see before when he was talking to his boys. Okay, with the boys, he was saying that everything was going well, I'm well liked, and everyone knows me, I'm doing great business, and so on. Okay, and he is raising his boys and advising them to be just like him. But now seems that this is not really the case, and seems that the money that he's earning are not enough to pay for the bills and to pay for everything that they need. And Linda is trying to encourage him, and she says, well, next week you'll do better. And Willie says, I'll knock them dead next week. Okay, and he kind of takes her word and is encouraged by that. But then he comes back, okay, and he says he returns to reality now, and this is something to be that is to be respected from Willie Loman. The trouble is, Linda, people don't seem to take on me. People don't seem to like me. And I said, no, don't be foolish. He says, I know it when I walk in. They seem to laugh at me. So, seeing that there are real problems with Willie Loman, people are not respecting him anymore. People are not noticing him anymore. He has a problem with work, and because he's a salesman, he has to make an impression. Of course, if the most important thing for you, if you are a salesman, is to make an impression that people respect you, so that they will buy from you. If they do not respect you, if they kind of laugh at you, of course, they will not buy from you. And this is the problem, Willie Loman. And he says. She says to him, "You are doing good," and she's encouraging, and this is something good about Linda. And he says to her, "Yes, I did a good amount of money, but I'm working 10 or 12 hours a day." And he says, "Other men, I don't know, they do it easier. I don't know why. I cannot stop myself. I talk too much." Okay. And no, and this is very interesting. A man ought to come in a few words. And she says that my problem is that I talk too much. I'm talkative. And this is why people don't like me. And one thing about Charlie, he's a man of few words, and they respect him. So now he's you see how he speaks differently into situations when he was with the boys, and you saw he was giving a very negative opinion about Charlie. That Charlie is liked, but it's not well liked, and so on. That's why he will not be very successful in contrast to Willie Loman. But now he's saying the truth that. One thing about Charlie, he's a man of few words, and they respect him. Everyone is respecting him because he doesn't speak too much. Okay, and later on, he says that I'm fat, I'm very foolish, and people are laughing at me, and they just when I pass by, they start laughing. Okay, um, Linda, Willie, darling, you are you see that she knows that what he's saying is real. She knows that people are laughing at him. She knows that he's not being respected anymore, that she knows that people are not paying any attention to him. But in spite of that, she's trying to give him some spirits, and she's trying to encourage him. That's why she says, "You are the handsome man in the world, and the handsomest man in the world. You are the most handsome man in the world." Okay. Oh, Linda, to me, you are okay. The handsome man. And from the darkness, heard from and when William and Linda are speaking, and this is interesting, we hear another voice, and we said that everything that we are seeing now is emerging from the imagination of Willie Loman. This is something that happened in the past. Okay, when Willie Loman is speaking with his wife, what is interesting is that we hear the voice of a woman, and we said before that this is the woman that with whom, sorry, Willie Loman made the relationship in Boston. Okay, so and the woman is dressing. Okay, so seems she was undressed with Willie Loman. Okay, she's laughing, and Willie Loman. There are many things that are going through his mind at the same time while he's speaking with Linda. Now we have the woman, and it seems like it is a ghost. This woman, okay, that cannot leave him, and so on. Okay, so we will stop at this point from the text. Okay, I am expecting you to be completing reading Act 1 with that. I'm going to highlight some important things in Act 1 later in a later lecture. Okay, and now I'm trying to see that, trying to show you some of the performances that about the play. Okay, so this is a theatrical performance, as you can see. This is a performance that we saw before. Okay. Okay, this is a performance that we saw before.
I love it. What's the matter?
I'm just going to sleep.
Guess we didn't settle much of anything, did we?
I just got one idea I think I'm going to try.
What's that?
Do you remember Bill Oliver?
Sure, Oliver's very big now. Do you want to work for him again?
No, but when I left, he said something to me. He put his arm around my shoulder and he said, "Biff, if you ever need anything, come see me."
I remember that. That sounds good.
I think I'll see him. If I could get $10 or even $7,000 or $8,000, I could buy a beautiful ranch.
I bet he'd back you. Because he thought highly of you, Biff. They all do.
We're well liked.
That's why I say to come here, and we both have the apartment, and I'm telling you, Biff, any babe you want.
No, with a ranch, I could do the work I like and still be something. I just wonder, though. I wonder whether Oliver still thinks I stole that carton of basketballs.
Oh, he probably forgot about that long ago. It's almost 10 years. You're too sensitive. Anyway, he didn't really fire you.
You know, I think he was going to. I think that's why I quit. I could never tell whether he knew or not. Still, he did like me. I was the only one he'd ever let lock up the place.
You gonna wash the engine, Biff?
Shh! You hear that?
So now this
Don't get your sweater dirty, Biff.
Doesn't he know Mom can hear
the
that?
section of the
What a Simonizer
two
job,
speeches.
Isn't that terrible? Don't leave again, will you? You gotta stick around. You'll find a job here. I don't know what to do about him. It's getting embarrassing.
Mom's hearing that.
You got a date? Wonderful.
go on to sleep, but talk to him in the morning, will you?
With her in the house.
So you see how the director is kind of bringing all the things that where the boys are upstairs and Willie Loman downstairs, and both are talking at the same time.
Brother!
I wish you'd have a good talk with him.
That selfish, stupid...
Sleep, Biff.
Just want to be careful with those girls, that's all, Biff. Don't make any promises. Nope.
Okay, now you see that the part of the boys' room was dimmed, and there's no light on it, so you cannot see that. And now lighting is going somewhere else in order to emphasize this movement from the present to the past.
Promises of any kind. There's a girl, you know, they always believe what you tell them, and you're very young, Biff. Too young to be talking seriously to girls. Too young entirely, Biff. You want to watch your school at first, then, when you're all set, there'll be plenty of girls for a boy like you. That's so. The girls pay for you. Well, you must be really making a hit. I've been wondering why you polished the car so careful. Boys, make sure you get the hubcap. Get the chamois to the hubcaps. Oh, Biff.
So now he's speaking to his sons, and his sons, the young Biff and the young Happy, I mean, they are off stage. We cannot see them. They are not on the stage, and he is speaking to them, and they are off stage, and they will emerge from the off stage to the on stage.
Why don't you show Happy how to use the newspaper on the windows? It's the easiest thing. Just show him, Biff. That's right. That's right. Pat it up. Use it like a pen. You're doing all right now. Biff, first thing we got to do when we get the chance is cut down that big branch over the roof. Afraid it's going to fall down in the storm and hit the house. Tell you what. We throw a nice rope over there and climb up with a couple of saws and cut her down. Oh, Biff, as soon as you finish the car, I got a surprise for you.
What do you got, Dad?
No, you finish first. Never leave a job until you're finished. Remember that. Biff, up in Albany, I saw a beautiful hen. I think I'll buy it next trip and hang it right.
And you see here the kind of the leaves that appear now, and they refer to the existence of trees and to nature and so on. So all of this now is taking place in the past, not in the present. And you see when Biff was saying, "What have you got, Bob?" Biff was speaking from the off stage, not from the on stage.
Between those two elms. Wouldn't that be something? Just swinging there under those branches? Boy, that would be something. Because that was a beautiful hammock, Biff. I'm telling you. The stitching and the... Why, I haven't seen something that beautiful in years. As a matter of fact, everything they sold in that store...
How's that, Pop? Professional?
Terrific.
Now
Perfect
this
job,
is the
boy.
entrance of the two boys. Okay, now everything is taking place in
Good work,
the
Biff.
past.
Where's the surprise, Pop?
In the back seat of the car.
Boy! What's the surprise, Dad? Tell me, what you buy?
Never you mind. Something I want you to have.
What is it, Hap? It's a punching bag!
You
Pop,
see
it's got Gene Tunney's
the
signature on it.
ball
Gee, how'd you know we
at
wanted
the
a
hand of
punching bag?
Biff.
Well, it's the finest thing for the timing.
Oh, I'm losing weight. You notice, Pop?
Jumping rope is good, too.
Oh, Pop, did you see the new ball I got?
Hey, where'd you get the new ball?
Coach wanted me to practice my passing.
That's so. And he gave you the ball.
Well, I borrowed it from the locker room.
I want you to return that.
Told you he wouldn't like it.
I'm bringing it back.
Sure. He's got to practice with a regulation ball, doesn't he? Coach will probably congratulate you on your initiative.
Coach is congratulating my initiative all the time.
That's because he likes you. Someone else were to steal the ball, there'd be an uproar. So, boys, what is the report?
Where'd you go this time, Pop? Gee, we were lonesome for you.
Lonesome, huh?
Okay, so you see how this is managed in a performance, and now we see another example of a and this is from a movie, of course, not from a performance, and you can see how directors in movies and performances are treating things differently. So this is from the same part of the play.
We'd stand up for one another. We'd have somebody to trust.
if I was
'Cause
around you.
The trouble is, we weren't brought up to grub for money. I don't know how to do it.
Neither can I.
Then let's go.
The only thing is, what can you make out there?
Hap.
No, I got to show some of those pompous, self-important executives over there that Hap Roman can make the grade, huh? Then I'll go with your Biff. We'll be together yet. I swear. Huh? You could take those two here tonight. Weren't they gorgeous creatures?
Yeah, most gorgeous I've had in years.
Get that anytime I want, Biff. Whenever I feel disgusted. The only trouble is it gets like bowling or something. I just keep knocking them over. Doesn't mean anything. You still run around a lot?
Nah. I'd like to find a girl steady, somebody with substance.
Mm-hmm. That's what I long for.
Go on. You'd never come home.
Yeah, I would. Somebody with character, with resistance like mine, you know? You're gonna call me a bastard when I tell you this. That girl Charlotte I was with tonight, engaged to be married in 5 weeks.
No kidding.
Sure. Guy's in line for the vice presidency of the store. I don't know what gets into me. Maybe I just have an overdeveloped sense of competition or something, but I went and ruined her. Furthermore, I can't get rid of her. And he's the third executive I've done that to her. Isn't that a crummy characteristic? And to top it all, I go to their weddings.
Don't get your sweater
So
dirty.
you see that while speaking,
no man can hear.
Willie Loman is just now living in the past. And
Oh, what a Simonizing job. Huh?
Look, Biff.
you see how Biff is shocked by the mental state of his father.
Again, will you? You'll find a job here, Biff. You gotta stay.
Hey, Biffo.
I don't know what to do about him anymore. It's getting embarrassing.
Oh, boy. What a Simonizing job.
Look, you go to sleep now, but talk to him in the morning, will you?
With her in the house?
Like, we should have a good talk with him.
That's selfish, stupid.
Shh. Sleep, Biff.
No kidding, Biff. You got a date? Just want to be careful with those girls, Biff. That's all. Don't make any promises. No promises of any kind. There's a girl, you know, that they always believe what you tell them. You're very young, Biff. See, you're too young. You're talking seriously to girls. You want to watch your schooling first, and when you're all set, though.
We're just waiting for the transition from the present to the past and see how things
For a boy like you.
are made in a movie in contrast
That's
to
so.
how they are made in a theater.
Girls pay
performance.
for you. Boy, you must really be making a hit. I've been wondering why you fathers think are so careful there. We'll leave the hubcaps, boys. Get the chamois to the hubcaps. Have to use newspaper on the windows. It's easy. Use it like a band. That's it. Good work. They're doing all right. Biff. First thing we gotta do when we get time, we gotta clip that big branch over the house there. I'm afraid it's gonna fall on a storm and hit the roof. Tell you what, we get a rope and sling around and we climb up there with a couple of saws and take it down. As soon as you finish the cowboys, I want to see you. I got a surprise for you, boys.
What do you got, Dad?
No.
So you
You
see
finish
now
first.
the daydreaming is
Never
starting.
leave a job till you finish. You remember that, Biff?
So now the daydreaming will start and the setting will change to be completely in the past.
Up in Albany, I saw a beautiful hammock. You know, I think I'll buy it next trip and we'll hang it right between those two elms there, huh? Wouldn't that be, huh? Wouldn't that be something? Just hanging, just swinging there under those branches? Oh, boy, that would be
How's that, Pat?
No.
Professional.
terrific. That's terrific
This is
job,
the
boys.
younger Biff.
Good work, Biff.
Where's the surprise, Pop?
In the back seat of the car.
What is it, Pat? Tell me, what you buying?
Never mind, something I want you to have.
This is
What is it,
setting.
It's a bunch.
You see the trees around there, and you see how natural the whole landscape is, in contrast to the set of apartments that are blocking the house in the present moment.
It's got Gene Tunney's signature on
How do you know we wanted to punch him?
Well, it's the finest thing for the time being.
I'm losing weight. You notice, Pop?
Jumping rope is good, too.
Pop, see the new football I got?
Where'd you get a new ball?
Coach told me to practice my pass.
That's so, and he gave you the ball.
Well, I bought it from the last.
I want you to return that.
See, I told you he wouldn't like it.
I'm bringing it back.
Sure, he's got to practice with a regulation ball, doesn't he? Coach will probably congratulate you on your initiative.
Pop, he keeps congratulating my initiative all the time.
That's because he likes you. Somebody else took that ball, there'd be an uproar. So what's the report? Boys! What's the report?
Where'd you go this time, Pop? We were lonesome for you.
Lonesome, huh?
You see up your man?
Don't say. Tell your secret, boys. Don't breathe it to a soul. Someday I'll have my own business and I'll never have to leave home anymore.
Like Uncle Charlie, huh?
Bigger than Uncle Charlie, because Charlie is not like this. He's liked, but he's not well liked.
And where'd you go this time?
Well, I got on the road and I went north to Providence, met the mayor.
The mayor of
He
Providence?
was sitting in the hotel lobby.
What'd he say?
He said, morning. And I said, oh, you got a fine city here, mayor. And he had coffee with.
Okay, see then the kind of thing that Willy Loman is doing in this daydreaming. That you see that the new atmosphere is taking place in the imagination of Willy Loman, and you see how, for example, in a theatrical performance, how the thing was changed from one time to another by the use of lighting. And in a movie, there were other techniques, of course. The movie makers have more tools at their disposal, to manage these transitions from one time to another, and to manage the change of the setting and the landscape. And we see how more freedom they have in that, and how they created the scenery. And you see also the boys, how they were very energetic, very moving and playing and so on. Willy Loman has more ambition, more wishes, more plans for the future, and so on. And you have to contrast this scene that was happening in the past with the scene of this happening in the present, where the house is covered with mostly silence, where there's fighting between the son and the father, when there is disappointment, where there is no further plans, no further ambitions, where there is a realization of the failure of all these ideals which they lived upon. Okay, so we can start at this point, and we will have a Zoom lecture on Wednesday in order to talk mainly about that. We might have a guest speaker on Wednesday, a colleague from the University of Waterloo in Canada, who is specialized in modern drama, in order to speak to you about the two plays. Okay, so I wish you would watch this lecture, so in order to just increase your information about the play, and see you again on Wednesday. So thank you very much, and goodbye.